Hello, and welcome to another episode of What's Doing. The television industry in Asia boasts a vibrant awards scene, celebrating outstanding achievements in programming, production, and talent across diverse cultures and genres. Prestigious events like the Asian Academy Creative Awards honor excellence in drama, entertainment, and documentary programming, showcasing the region's rich storytelling and creative prowess. These awards not only recognize the best of Asian television, but also serve as platforms for cultural exchange and collaboration among industry professionals from different countries. With a rapidly evolving media landscape and increasing global influence, Asia's television industry awards continue to elevate the standards and inspire innovation, reflecting the dynamic and multifaceted nature of the region's media landscape. 7 years ago, Michael and Fiona McKay laid the foundation for one of the most prestigious television and film awards in Asia, and it was called Asian Academy Creative Awards. These awards stand for the very best in storytelling and is a dream for storytellers in Asia to win the Goddess of Creativity trophy. We at Creators 2 had the good fortune of winning one a few years back, and it gave us a great morale boost for the work we are doing that is among the best in Asia. We are lucky to have Michael and Fiona in our studio today to talk more about Asian Academy Creative Awards. Welcome, Michael and Fiona. Thank you so much for joining us today for What's Doing, coming all the way from Singapore. And welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
So the first question is, how did you come up with such a great idea of starting Asian Academy Creative Awards?
It came out of adversity, really. There was the Asian Television Awards, and I'd been asked to come in and produce it at pretty short notice back in 2017. And it went well, but then we were never paid. And we're talking nearly $300,000.
Wow.
So I started to dig into what was going on. And then I discovered that people hadn't been paid for quite some time, staff, suppliers, talent, and my own production company, which was, like I said, up for about almost 300,000. So I was just kind of heartbroken. I did not want that to be what our industry was represented as. So, the awards should be something that we're proud of.
It's a celebration of everybody's hard work.
And it's meant to be promoting our industry, but I mean, it was causing quite severe financial damage to people, and that's what it shouldn't be about. So anyway, I went down to see the IMDA, the Singapore government, and I said, this can't be happening. This can't happen like this. This shouldn't be what our industry stands for. They said, what do you think it should be? I said, we should have a proper academy. People always say we should have our own Emmys or Oscars, and that's exactly what our region should have. And I said, we should have a prestigious award that is based on integrity. And it shouldn't just be about awards either. It should be about an academy campus, about training people and about the future of the industry. And it should have a proper membership where members can get together and swap ideas and co-production and things like that. And they said, that's what we think it should be too. So we'll support you for the first few years, get you going, and you go off and do it. I said, huh? And I said, yeah, no, we think it's exactly what the industry needs, and we'll support you on that, which they did. And so that's how basically I came up to be doing the Asian Academy Creative Awards. And here we are, 8 years later. And but fortunately, Fiona gave up her career as a media lawyer and jumped in as the CEO. And I'm really grateful for that because she does a brilliant job.
No, but again, the thing is, you're protected by the law now. Fiona there. See, the thing is, we have dime a dozen awards within the region. Means every 6 months there's an award ceremony. So how does Asian Academy Creative Awards stands out from this whole gamut of awards which like every 6 months being given out?
I think one is the premise I'd heard over many years being here, we should have our own Emmy Awards. Okay, yes, we should. For me, what was missing was integrity. Why do you want to win an Emmy Award? Because of the integrity that's behind it. They're not a dime a dozen. They're really hard to get, and it can be to have that you've won an award like that on your CV. It's a strong thing to have, and that's what we were lacking. Awards that you weren't really sure how they were won, or how they were judged, or who judged them, or did any. You don't know. So for me, initially, it was about integrity, and I think Fiona, being a lawyer as well, that just reinforced that. So everything we do, kind of the foundation stone, is that it has to have integrity. We wanted to create, right from the get-go, the mission was to create Asia Pacific's most prestigious awards, and everything we do is based around that. So, from the judging to the way everything operates.
I think what AACA brings in is the transparency. Is basically they keep everyone, because we are also part of the academy. We know how things work, what bodies have been brought in to maintain the transparency, and also the awards keep everybody updated on how things are progressing, who all are involved, and when the judging process starts and when it ends.
We're probably the only top award system in the world that divulges its scores. But we feel, why should it be a secret? And also, the scoring is meant to lift standards. So, for example, our scoring is based on the international scoring system for the international Emmys. It's the same scoring system, really. And we did that so that our work could be benchmarked to the rest of the world. Judges understood it, and also it could be transparent, which is why we'll often announce the scores. And some people are really unlucky, and they might miss out by a fraction, but they know, okay, I need to make it up.
0.2.
That was so narrow, wasn't it? But
Yeah.
And we will also, privately, we don't mind discussing the scores, not what judges said, but we don't mind sort of letting people know whereabouts they were in the competition, because that's about bringing up standards. So, and again, Baker McKenzie, international law firm, they audit, don't they? The scores. So,
So I think that brings in the credibility of everybody getting an award, eligible to get an award.
But if it doesn't have that, I don't think it has value. And so unless your award system can really be so thorough and so strong on that foundation, then I don't think it will be taken as seriously. So if we're to have our version of the Emmys or so on, it has to have the same or better integrity around it.
So awards play a major role in defining the quality of content, means being produced in the region. How do you make sure AACA is the best there is when it comes to awarding the best content?
I think it comes down to, well, firstly, the judging system. I think we get judges from all around the world. And they might be, judge on the Oscars or the Emmys or the BAFTAs. In fact, we've got judges who won Oscars or Emmys, so I think that's
including you.
Yeah. Although I don't judge, but yes, I mean, that's the sort of caliber you want to know, that your work's being judged by people who have done have achieved something in the industry, and they've got a strong track record, not just because they might buy advertising in your magazine. We're not in that business. We're not in the business of doing it for other reasons. We do the awards really driven by the passion we have for the industry, and it's a not-for-profit organisation. So there's no other kind of sideline that we need to worry about.
I think that brings in a lot more weight to the award because you don't have any ulterior motive behind it.
No.
It's not for your personal gain or for financial gain because you don't have any other outlet but just the awards, and it's means non-profit organization. So that basically answers my question that why it stands. Means AACA stands so reputable in this whole gamut of awards which going on within the region.
But the Emmys, I proudly won an Emmy award, and we didn't have that in our region. So we didn't have something like that, and I felt that's a real gap. And also, we didn't have that genuine marketing opportunity to say, you're an Asian Academy Creative Award winner. You've reached this standard, and it's been judged by people all around the world. So, and they're our peers. And so I think, we were missing that. So I think it comes back to that, to say, we have an award that can rightly stand next to those.
Yeah, rightly said that. We have been Emmy members for a few years, and we know how Emmy works, how they engage on ground activity, how they engage with their members on a monthly basis, and how they keep on listening. There's a two-way communication, and that's what I think which AACA also does, because they keep this communication going on with the producers in each country within Asia. And that's, I think, that makes them aware that what is happening on ground. What are the problems producers are facing? What are the problems broadcasters are facing? How can, that can be solved by putting people together or find solutions which, you can see from an outside perspective that there is a solution to that. So I think, why is that dialogue important when it comes to AACA?
I think really when we started it really sort of by the industry, for the industry. That was our motto when we started. So it was really clear again what the mission was. And I think bringing people together is really important to get them talking, get them working together.
Yeah, so that's where we have actually organized quite a lot of event, like networking event in various cities. So even before COVID, we already started like 2019, which is our second year of the organization. We started off with networking event in KL, Tokyo, Sydney, and Jakarta, and Ho Chi Minh City. So then COVID come and say hi, and we have to travel. We have to pause it. So then now that it's post-COVID, and we started it again. So last year we started it in Taipei, Jakarta, and then this year we have it in Tokyo. Last month we have it in Bangkok. And we
recently had in KL,
in KL,
right?
Yes.
That was a great turnout.
That was great.
Yes.
We actually had to bring in more chairs. You were there. We had to bring in more chairs for everybody. But that's great, and that's what brings people together.
Yeah, the key thing here is that in this networking event, it's not only just network, have coffee, chit chat, and all that. Not only that, we also we encourage a roundtable discussion. We pick some speakers, key powerhouse, industry powerhouse people, some of the government side as well, to talk about the local production, the international co-production, what are the challenges, what are the trends, what are the opportunities. So basically, we hope that whatever that we are doing during the networking event is to inspire more talent.
I think that's one of the reasons why AACA looks that it's an organization which is accessible, which really feels for the industry, and also they are there to find some kind of a solution in whatever way possible, because you're already connected with the right people, the right decision makers, and I think that's where the industry stands with AACA, because they think that these are the people who are part of us, and not just there's a body which is giving away awards every end of the year. So I think that takes a lot of effort, that takes a lot of planning, takes a lot of thought process. And I think kudos to you guys. You've been putting effort year after year to make it better. And I think it'll only get better because, like what we saw in the meet and greet in KL, the turnout says a lot about how well AACA has been received in Malaysia
Yes,
itself.
yes.
But it's not about us. It's about our industry getting behind it and doing what they can to support it, because ultimately it's not for us. It's for our industry. So the more of us in the industry who get in and help and be part of it, whether it's, being the ambassador for their country, which is a tremendous support, and having the ambassadors around the region, having elite members who actually, more and more, we want our elite members to be involved in the decision making. For us, we want this to be still going in 90 years or 100 years. So clearly we won't be there. I certainly won't. And so it's about building that structure now. And we have put in a lot of work to build it to where it is. But, with the industry support and everybody sort of realizing that's the goal, then it'll just get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think, it's pretty much a legacy which we are building right now. And that will stay for a long period of time till there's content, there are great shows being made, great movies are being made, and awards being given. I think it will definitely make a lot of difference. Having said that, on an average, you get thousands of entries every year.
Yeah.
And good ones.
Yeah.
Like people who enter the awards, they think that they have done a great job.
Yeah.
It deserves an award, and that's where the submission happens. How do you make sure that every entry, although these are thousands of entries, every entry gets the same kind of attention, the same kind of, when it comes to judging? How do you make sure that it's on the same level? No, there's no partiality given to one entry to the other. How do you make sure that happens?
Well, it starts off with the entry, and you look at every single one.
So I will check the entries itself, like making sure that information are stated correctly. If it's not correct, go back to the entrance, and also making sure that the episodes or whatever materials submitted are all good enough to represent the category that they have submitted, so that it's fair and it is for each of the entrants. Once we have approved that, that goes to the jury members, and that's where.
So what you want by that stage, by the time it goes to a jury member, that everything's correct at the entry level, and then it's a matter of setting up international so we have 2 rounds. The first round is judged by generally local judges, and I think one of the missions when we started was to lift the standard in each nation around our region, because it's really varied.
Yeah.
So when you're announced, yours was the winner is Malaysia. Then it was you and the show, but Malaysia wins.
Yep.
So we're about really building up the standards in each country. So we have judges who from a local industry, and they will be varied. Some will be active. Some will be maybe recently retired. So you've got a mix of people, and then so we're putting together panels, and we want as many as we can on a panel, and so you're not getting that sort of influence and everybody judges. Not in a room together. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be influenced by what someone else thinks. I want to judge it for what I think. So it's all online. It's all password protected. You put in your scores. That gets calculated by the computer. No one touches it. We don't need accountants or anything. That's all calculated by the system, and it's a world-class, system. Then we announce our national winners who represent their nation or territory in the final. Then we have a second round, and that's judged from all around the world, as I talked about before. And they could be judges in Canada or the US or UK or Argentina, all over the world. And so I think that's without that, there's no real bias in that. They're just looking at the content, and they may not even know that this person's a big star actress, just looking at the work, which I love. I love that about it. And so I think that's, and then all those results are then audited by Baker McKenzie, and unless they sign off on it, then it ain't happening.
So we also have very, very strict MDA that the jury members have to sign before they start judging. And we do not encourage jury to disclose themselves during the judging period when it's open. The main reason is that we know that
everybody's
the industry
connected.
industry is very small. Once I know that Abid, you are judging, hello Abid, can we have a coffee somewhere? So we want to make sure that all these are very exclusive. We will disclose our jury members at the end. Like we definitely give credit after December ceremony. That's the thing. Baker McKenzie will be checking not on the numbers or the scores, but basically the system, the policy behind, and making sure that everyone is following what is stated in the rules. So there's no one that is like conflict of interest or anything that is dodgy.
And the system will follow you up. If you've only half judged something, the system follows you up and gives you a gentle reminder about finishing.
That's the AI in action. So in the last few years, the AACA has been conducting this winners discussion with new producers who are just starting off in the industry, as well as masterclasses have happened. What is the real motive behind it to organize these masterclasses and to let these newcomers come and listen and learn from the award winners of AACA?
One of our mission is to give back to the industry, train the next generation, upskill the newcomers, even young or senior, whoever who feel like they need to upskill. That is our mission. We want to be an organization that is more than just organizing awards. Because organizing awards is simple. The other thing is more important to us, which is the next generation and upskill. So, which is why every year we have we organize producer summit and masterclass. So these two usually will be held back to back each other. So before COVID, it was physical, but after COVID, we started to make it online. So physical, good and not good. Physical, everybody likes to meet each other physically, but it's very limited to the location. So we are based in Singapore, so everything is just whoever is in Singapore would benefit from it. But during COVID time, then we bring it up online. It becomes more global. So whoever is open to whoever that has an internet. We can also bring in international speakers. So it benefits the vast majority, right? So let me talk about Producer Summit. Producer Summit is where we honor our past year winner and we invite them back to speak about their award-winning program. So it's like a case study. So it's basically good because the award-winning producer or director will share their experience and challenges while producing the award-winning program. The masterclass series, as we progress, this is like our 7th year now. We think that the key important thing for masterclass is that we curate the masterclass series based on current issue. So like, for example, during COVID, we curated based on the theme of production during COVID. So there's a lot of virtual production, virtual casting, all these kind of things. How do they do it? Last year, we have...
mostly AI, wasn't it? That was what everyone wanted to talk about.
The trend, the new trend, right after COVID. This year, We have not announced yet, but we are going to announce very pretty soon. It is about next generation, how to survive in TV and film. We know that there's a lot of changes. So
We're announcing that exclusively here, I think.
Yay!
But the theme is what's next. Because what we found wherever we were traveling, people go, what's next? You know, there's so much concern in our industry for what's next. You know, is AI going to change everything? Yeah, but what's next? You know, what's happening with mergers of the big studios overseas? What's happening with the streaming platforms? So, you know, really what's next is our focus for the next masterclass series. And we think it's probably our most important one, given
It's a
what's
very
going
apt
on.
one. Basically, there's so much of disturbance going on in the industry
yes,
where business is concerned, and how businesses are losing talent, losing hours of programming,
Yeah.
and how OTT platforms are coming into place, and how audiences' taste are changing, and how they are grappling to create content which is
Yes.
relevant. This is a great topic, actually.
Yes, one of the masterclass that we are going to have in July is about young audience, right? So she's an expert. She's from Vancouver now. She's based in Canada. So she'll be doing a masterclass online on young audience. And obviously we have a few AI masterclasses on the legal side, also on the operation side. So it is going to be quite a good lineup. What's next on the content strategy side, right? So, what's it now? So that's
Basically,
something.
nobody knows at this point of time what works.
Yes,
It's a hit and a miss.
correct.
Means a Squid Game works, but that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Will it work today?
Well,
Big question mark.
Yeah, and look, it's such a really fascinating time to be part of the industry, and I don't think it's a doom and gloom. And I think one of the things we've done as we've gone around is it's not us. We're not about doom and gloom, but we are about equipping you with the knowledge that you need going forward. And you know what we're like in our industry? We never like to say we don't know something. It's not in our nature. We go, oh, I don't know. So even with our master classes, we'll try to bring in information that equips everybody to know, what's next. What do I need to know? And I think that one of the things about listening to people is you start to pick up, okay, maybe there's not as much knowledge about AI. There's a lot of talk about it, but maybe people aren't using it. And so they're not seeing how we can benefit from it, how it's being used in production today, say in animation, how it's being used in a lot of different ways that can contribute to the production, rather than running around saying the sky is falling. I think that happened with music streamers, didn't they? The music company said, well, I don't want to know about streaming, and they tried to stop it, and they fought it, and they, it's not going to happen, it's not going to be this. And then when it was, they realised that they couldn't.
They missed the boat.
They'd missed it. So I don't want our industry to miss the boat either. We can't. We're not going to be able to stop it. So how do we control it? How do we protect ourselves? And how do we use it to streamline productions? Whether that's transcribing, videos which take hours on a shoot, don't they? So there's a lot of different ways that we can give the information to the industry, and that's what the Academy Campus does.
Yeah, one thing that is very important is also that from the producers summit case study, we hope that it inspired people, again, young talents and all that, students. With the master class, of course, for the upskill, we because it's online, we managed to give free complimentary passes to, as a charity to emerging nation students. Some countries are not really emerging, but because they are students, and the ambassadors of the country that actually approach us and say that, please, give them some happy to do that. So we have free passes given out to Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, Indonesia, and some.
And I think
Bangladesh.
that is what AACA is all about.
Yes.
It's more about giving back. the knowledge which we are getting from these
Yes.
productions, producer summit and master classes.
Plus, the winners are our rock stars,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that people should be listening to and learning from and aspiring to be.
So basically, nobody can question, why the hell this guy is talking? Yeah, he won an award. That's why he's talking.
Sit down and listen. Yeah.
So let me come to another question: is AACA is becoming now the Emmy Awards / Met Gala of awards, where fashion takes a big, there are a lot of talents who come really dressed up. People are asking them what you're wearing, and so what is is that moving forward the fashion statement, the red carpet of AACA Awards is the fashion statement joint where people will be talking more about fashion and glamour rather than awards.
Well, maybe not more, but the red carpet's fun, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
really why we do it.
Yes, for sure. I think that's actually adding, the glamorous part to the award ceremony. We love all the artists coming, with their glam and their fashion. So yes, our local artists and talents, as you can see, they have their very great fashions, and
Yep.
We love to also recognize the local designer,
Yeah.
especially, we want to support them, we want to promote them, and you can see that is up to that international standard. It's like we have our local one, which is very good.
It's really talked about on the internet when
Yes.
all these actors and actresses and directors and
Yes.
producers come in. They
Puts them on show, and I think it's great. It promotes them to the fans. I mean, I think during COVID, we were one of the few awards to do a red carpet, and we invested a lot of time and technology in it so that the artists could connect with their fans. With the awards, we're more about the craft of acting, and a lot of our focus and our panels and discussion is about the craft of acting, not so much the celebrity. And performances are judged on their craft, not how many sort of Instagram followers they have. But that said, the red carpet, that's fun and it's glamorous, and we
that's
love
great
it.
television.
We love it when people, really dress up and go to a lot of trouble. And we've watched that really develop, haven't we?
Yes.
When it first started, some people didn't go to too much trouble.
Yeah, because I've been going there every year, so I've seen that grow.
Yes.
Even the fans standing outside,
right.
that has grown a lot.
Yes,
And I think they come to see the first of all, the stars on the red carpet, and also judge their clothing and what they're wearing.
Yeah, we do have a best dress, and that's actually fun as well, because fans get to look at the red carpet and then choose which is the best dress or vote for it. That is really, really cool. And to add on that, last year started off with a theme. Like we thought that let's make it more fun. Let's put a theme on the red carpet, or the party theme. So we have 1920s theme last year, and people dress up. 1920s is so cool. Michael can tell you why he picked 1920s as the theme.
It was about when I was looking at the industry today. I went back and did some research, and I realised that back in the 1920s, they were grappling with technology changes. There was the introduction of sound on film, and there was a lot of turmoil in the industry. A lot of, people thought, this is changing everything. And people didn't know how the technology worked. And there were studios, maybe smaller studios merging to become big studios. And I thought, it's not that different to what we're experiencing now. So really the celebration from that point of view, or the 1920s theme, was to say, you know what, our industry is very resilient. We've been through this sort of thing before, and we'll go through it again, and we'll emerge from it, maybe even stronger. And then, of course, there was the fashion side of it, which is a fantastic time, wasn't it?
But that's the amount of thought process goes behind it. It's just not putting up an awards evening. There's a thought process even for how the theme, red carpet and the theme is decided every year, because it has to be relevant, even if it's after like 80 years, 90 years later. It means it's relevant.
Well, these folks went before us and they survived it.
Yeah.
They learned, and we have to do that. That's
and
our
thi-
generation.
This year, our team has been decided, and again, not announced. I'm going to announce here again.
Wow, you're getting scoops galore today.
You got more than 6 months to get ready. It's going to be very relevant. It's streamers, and everything is OTT, so it's going to be an OTT glam.
Wow.
Over the top.
Over the top of it,
Glam.
so I don't know what you're going to wear. But
So I'm going to be wearing, I know what I'm going to be wearing. I don't want to tell now, but yes, thanks for letting me know. I will be ready.
over the top. That's the theme for this year, over the top.
So going back to the awards, judges are very important. Judges, choosing judges are very important.
Yeah.
How do you choose your judges? Judges who can be fair, who can judge a category which is not in their own language, and also be fair with it, so that the awards which is being awarded is going to the right person or the right body. How do you do that?
Yeah, I think you want to start with experienced people in the industry, people who are well respected, and a lot of our judges come with that integrity and passion that that we talked about as the foundation of the awards. And I'm really impressed with the work that they put in and how passionate they are. An example, that there's a regular director who's put in work from over the years, and she's from Hong Kong. And one of the judges wrote, I think this is her best work that I've seen from her so far. Now, I thought, wow, that judge is really taking notice of all the work from, that comes across his category. So I think it's really about having people within our industry who are passionate and they understand what we're trying to do. And so I think it's really about, we appreciate the support we get from members of jury. So I think it's about really harnessing that. I think you kind of get a sense of, if somebody's not judging properly. But I think that's pretty rare, frankly. And I think it's inherent on the industry too, to put forward, particularly on the local round, to put forward their best work. There's no point putting forward somebody's work. They might be a terrific person, but are they going to win the trophy for your country? Because you want that coming back to you. You want as many to come back to Malaysia.
Yep.
And the reason for that is it may not even be yours, but if they're coming back to Malaysia, people go, production in Malaysia must be good. And that's good for everybody.
Yep.
So I think it's inherent in the local judges, make sure they put forward work that they think has a really strong chance of winning. No point putting something forward if it doesn't.
Yep.
You really want to be thinking, can this work I'm judging here win? And then in the second round, like I said, the judges come from all over the world. So I think they have they're motivated to judge it. They love to see work from our region, and they find that really exciting. We've had judges discover Korean content through judging the awards. Now that might sound strange, that how can you just discover Korean content when it's huge? But that's part of what we do. We introduce content to people who maybe aren't familiar with it. But these people are at the pinnacle of their careers. We had one of my favourite stories is people write to us and ask, can they judge? And we look at it and we assess. And I looked up one fellow and he's won an Oscar. So I figured that, I'm sure he'd be a beautiful judge. Yeah. So that's, so Oscar winners, Emmy winners, BAFTA winners are judges. So I think, that's what you want.
That's great to know. But that was my next question was, there's so many, all Oscars and BAFTAs and Emmys there. Where does AACA stand in all this list of global awards?
Oh, I think that's for the industry to decide, not for us. I think we've created something that we know gets respect from major international awards, and we're very proud of that on behalf of our region and our industry. I think our award sits very nicely with the top awards from around the world based on the integrity that's gone into it. And I think, it's about creating an award that we can be really proud of, but I think it's for other people to probably decide where it sits.
But I think it is there because Asia, you have already pretty much in the last 7 years, that's been taken care of.
Thank you.
That's when AACA is up there with when they talk about all the rest of the awards from around the world.
Well, it's about people like yourself. It's about people in our industry putting in their best work and producing their best work and really pushing up the standard. And people are talking about Asia now and content and looking really closely at it. It's become a region of discovery, I think. And, if we've played a role in that, then again, that's part of that legacy, and we'd be proud to, have played a role.
So every year, means the last 7 years, you have been privy to all the great content within the region. And the last 7 years, content has changed, players have changed. How do you now feel, because you have seen all the content, what is the change which you see in the content from the quality perspective, from the storytelling perspective? And how do you think that has improved or gone down when producers or actors and actresses submit their entries?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we've been able to see the progression of some actors from over the last 8 years. And we've been able to see the progression of communities too, not just individual companies. I think Thailand's a case in point. We've watched the Thai content kind of develop, and it's not quite there yet. Maybe this year we'll have a better view on that, I think. But we're seeing that development, and I feel part of that is because the awards are, you're representing your nation. So I feel that you can't say, oh, India has bigger budgets than we do. Then work it out. Like it's not judged because you have a lesser budget, you'll get a prize. It's just on the best work. And that's forced standards up. And I think that's a good thing. Now, you may not have a bigger budget, so then you've got to work out how else you can push yourself up. So I think watching the way content has developed, storytelling has become, I think, more of an international standard. There's been more focus put on scripts and the quality of the scripts. There's more focus put on cinematography. There's probably right across all the different aspects of the industry. We're putting more focus on it. We're taking it more seriously, and we can see if you see, they won that award. Why? And that comes back to, when the masterclasses or the producer summit are on and you're talking about why you won that award, we, really should be dialing into those and finding out why. And that pushes the standard up all the time. So I think
it's becoming more competitive.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now I want to talk about Malaysia. And in the last few years, there have been a lot of Goddess of Creativity trophies coming to Malaysia. What has changed in Malaysian content over the years? And why are those awards now coming in larger number than what it was before?
I think it comes back to Malaysia's always had some really skillful production community, always. But I think it's probably looking beyond its own borders more. So, and it comes back to competing with other nations. You need to bring it up. I think that there's some outstanding work being done across lots of different genres in drama now, in animation. So I feel like there's been you've got to admire the Malaysian community, because in a way they're not doing it with the resources. You guys aren't doing it with the resources that other countries have on many different levels. So I think you've just got to admire the determination. There's always been a creativity that's underlying it, but I feel like probably I would say it's got more to do with the fact that the Malaysian production industry is looking out more. It's more outward looking. I think there's the next challenge now is I'd like to see the Malaysian industry become more cohesive. I'd like to see more the producers and the community working more closely together rather than kind of individually.
Yep.
I'd like to see the government taking more of a leadership position, and a strong one. If you look at where governments step in, that works when there's a cohesive community, a production community that's working for a common goal, and then the government can step in and support that. The countries where that's worked, and I'll use Korea as an example, I'll use Japan, and to maybe a lesser extent Australia, the government's played a role.
Yep. And
the government can't be hands-off and not take a role, I believe. I'm not saying they should be heavy-handed. I'm not saying that they should decide the content to a great extent, but there's certainly a support role to play and a leadership role. And that's kind of the next step I'd like to see in the Malaysian production industry. And you watch it go.
No, that's what we means from a producer's perspective. That's what we have been noticing over the years, that how the learning from the awards is now seen in the content which is being produced here. You rightly said that yes, we don't have that much of support from all corners, and we can't be working in a silo, and we need to work as an industry to uplift the content quality. And I think, and we pray that happens soon, because now the amount of content being produced in Malaysia is far better and far much more pleasing to the eyes than what it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that's one of the things that pleases me most is watching that growth and watching, you're building your own rock stars. And one of the things that we do is we curate the best content and the best creatives. And that's, basically a one-stop shop. If you want to know who's doing what in the region, then, lean into the awards.
Yep.
And you'll see. And that's great to be able to promote, the best creative people around the world as well as the best content, so people see what you're doing.
Yeah. My last question, and this is about the elite membership at AACA. How can content producers benefit from an elite membership at Asian Academy Creative Awards?
We started a membership program before COVID, but we wouldn't have we didn't want one that was kind of online or whatever. We didn't want that. So we relaunched it after COVID as the elite membership, and we made it more exclusive actually. It honours outstanding achievement in your career. So again, just because you want to take out a membership doesn't mean you'll get one. So it really becomes like a badge of honour for people who've achieved in the industry. But also, we didn't want an awards program, a membership program where you paid a membership fee but you didn't get anything for it. As much as we want people to support the academy, but so we have we do quite a lot of things where we try to focus on that individual member and maybe how we can support them, not just how they can support us, but how we can support them, what other sort of range of benefits can we give them that make it worthwhile being a member. And I think the networking events are a good example.
Yeah, I think the networking is important. So join our membership. We should have the networking and personal connection with people that is also elite members. Yeah. So that's why we also have networking event in various cities as well. So I think elite members should take advantage of that and come along, because those invited guests are all specially curated lists as well.
Yep.
So you're already there. You know that these are the key people that in that particular country who you want to meet.
That's
will
what
be
we
the
saw in
co-production.
the event, in the KL event.
So
Exactly.
that's the Malaysian event, and so that's for the local industry. But if you're an elite member, you can come to any of those, no matter where they are in the world.
Countries.
Okay.
Yep. So after KL, we'll be going to Manila. So who knows, if you come along and then you meet some people there. I think Manila is going to be a big one as well.
Yeah, because people from Philippines, I've seen them at the awards function.
Oh yeah.
They are the most excited people, excited producers, and I really love them when they just go on stage and just make a huge entrance.
Yes.
And so much passion.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So I think, look, and in terms of, we give discounts on entries, discounts on tickets.
Ticket ceremony. And I mean, all these are the current benefits that we have. But to me, I feel aside from the badge of honor, we acknowledge them at all our events. And it's the networking bit that is important. And we want members to be involved, because if you are not involved as a member, you're just a sleeping member, and you won't be getting things out of it. In future, of course, we would like to have more value-added services like legal consultancy, risk management consultancy to the members as well. So those are the things that we have.
But it's funny, we're for our members, we're asked to provide support for their visa applications, for things, or for guild applications, particularly maybe going into the United States. So you ask how we're recognised.
Yeah.
We're seen as the authority in our region to support, say, a visa application for somebody wanting to work in the United States or the UK. We did one for somebody wanting to get a permanent visa to work in the industry up in the UK, and they're from our region. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it gives that's another example of every benefit. If you look at your elite membership as a group of people, then you can help better if you're looking at them each one as an individual member of our industry who's already achieved a lot, and then how can you help them the best? So, or what do they need? What sort of support? Why are they a member? Everyone will want something different.
I mean, the other example, these are all truth. Okay, so it's like people who want to be a directorship, board member in a NGO in UK, US. They do come and ask for a certificate from Asian Academy of Creative Arts that will support them as well. So these are things that I don't see it in Asia, but in Europe, US, UK, they actually credit us as such a
So that answers your question. You guys are up there. If you can make those people think twice and make it credible, that means the awards carry that much of weight, that countries' visa policies are looking at it as a credible evidence or credible letter for them to consider somebody to let them inside the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Michael and Fiona. Really, really appreciate your time. It was lovely talking to you guys. And I hope and I pray and I wish you all the best with AACA. And I hope this year is going to be better than all the 7 years you have organized the awards. I'm looking forward.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abid, and thank you for your support for the Academy. We really appreciate it.
Always.
The big question for this year, though, is what's Abid going to be wearing at the awards?
Yes,
That will
be revealed soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
An Asian Academy Creative Awards trophy is not just an award. It's a validation by your peers that the work you are doing is world-class and it stands out in the crowded content space on multiple platforms. Stew on this till we meet again in another exciting episode of What's Doing.